Hi there, welcome to Peg Space Bytes. Today's Space Bite is about Voskhod 2. Enjoy. Voskhod 2 was the first mission to have a man perform a spacewalk. USSR was the first to claim fame to this amazing feat. No nation had attempted this, but the United States was planning on one in the near future. Voskhod 2 was very similar to Voskhod 1, except that it had an inflatable airlock to accommodate a spacewalk. The Voskhod spacecraft was 5 meters long and had a diameter of 2.43 meters. It weighed 5,682 kilograms. The crew members for Voskhod 2 were Colonel Pavel Ivanovich Bylev, who served as a commander and first pilot, and Lieutenant Colonel Alexei Arhipovich Leonev, who was the second pilot. Pavel Bylev was born on June 26, 1925, in Chelychevo, Volогодskaya Oblast, Russia, in the USSR. He graduated in 1944 from the Air Force Academy in Sarapul. He attended the Stalin Naval Air School and graduated as a military pilot in 1945. Bylev was a fighter pilot in the Soviet Air Force from 1945 to 1959. He served in World War II. He got married in 1948 and had 2 children. Pavel Bylev was selected on July 3, 1960, as a Russian cosmonaut. His only space flight was aboard Voskhod 2, and his total flight time in space was 26 hours, 2 minutes. He was a Russian cosmonaut from 1960 to 1970. After Voskhod 2 spaceflight, Pavel Bylev headed the Almaz cosmonaut training group. He received many awards and honors, including the Hero of the Soviet Union Medal. He died on January 10, 1970, due to complications after surgery, and is buried in Moscow. He was only 44 years old. Alexei Leonev was born on May 30th, 1934, in List-Vayanza, Russia, USSR. He graduated on October 30th, 1957, from Chugaz Higher Air Force Pilot School. He became a fighter pilot. He was married. Alexei Leonev was a pilot aboard Voskhod 2 in 1965 and was the commander of Soyuz 19 in 1975. Soyuz 19 is also known as Apollo-Soyuz Test Project, ASTP. This mission was the first rendezvous between an American and Soviet spacecraft. Leonev spent over 5 hours in the Apollo capsule. Since he flew in 2 space missions, his total flight time was 7 days, 32 minutes. After Soyuz 19, Alexei Leonev worked for the cosmonaut program from 1976 to 1982 and at the Yuri Gagarin Cosmonaut Training Center until he retired in 1991. He received many awards. Leonev co-authored with astronaut David Scott a book titled 2 Sides of the Moon, Our Story of the Cold War. On October 11, 2019, Alexei Leonev died in Moscow, Russia. He was 85 years old. Voskhod 2 was launched on March 18, 1965 at 7 o'clock Universal Time Coordinated. A launch vehicle 11A57 from Baikonur Cosmodrome, Russia. It did not have ejection seats or an escape tower, so there was no possible way for an emergency rescue at liftoff or landing. Unlike Voskhod 1, where the men wore woolen clothes, the 2 cosmonauts for this mission wore Berkut spacesuits. The flight orbited Earth for 26 hours, 2 minutes. The 2 cosmonauts orbited 16 times. Voskhod 2 reached a record altitude of 498 kilometers. The greatest accomplishment of this space flight was when Alexei Leonev performed the first spacewalk, otherwise known as an EVA, extravehicular activity. He did this during Voskhad's second orbit. In order to do this, the spacesuit was equipped with a removable life support backpack that provided up to 45 minutes of oxygen. Leonov was tethered to the spacecraft by an 18-foot cable. The spacewalk was recorded on a mounted extended television camera and a moving camera held by Leonov. After 16 minutes, Leonov attempted to get back inside the spacecraft, but he could not enter immediately since his suit was too stiff. He had to release some of the air in the inflated suit in order to re-enter. When Voskhod 2 attempted to land, its primary retro rockets failed during re-entry. The men had to use a manually controlled retro rocket. They landed on March 19, 1965 at 9:02 Universal Time Coordinated in the Ural Mountains, which is 180 kilometers north of Perm in northern Russia. Since it landed in the mountains, it took 4 hours for the Voskhod 2 crew to be located via helicopter due to the thick forest surrounding the spacecraft and crew. The 2 cosmonauts were finally recovered by helicopter the following day, although the spacecraft was not retrieved for another few days. Due to the dangerous nature of Voskhod 1 and 2, all future Voskhod missions were canceled. I hope you enjoyed today's Space Bite. Learn about Gemini 3 on the next Space Bite. Remember, endeavor to discover new horizons and challenge yourself to reach for the stars. See you next time.